What's up, everyone? This is your boy OD Harris, and welcome to my podcast. You guys, we are always trying to take it to the next level. We're always trying to introduce you to people that you guys need to know. And today is like literally no different. We may look like brothers, but we are definitely on other sides of the world. Welcome to the podcast, Mayor Terrence from the great city of the town of Johnston in South Carolina, man. What's going on, baby?
Of the world. Come on. Peace out of the world. Put some respect on our name.
Damn, man, put some respect on it, man. Man, I'm loving your we talked about your pandemic hairdo. What's the inspiration for that?
I mean, everybody has to have a muse at everything in life. And I feel like one of my fellow dreadhead brothers that's killing the game is Jay-Z. Come on, Sean Carter. He's killing it.
Hey, you got to keep it natural, man. Keep it natural. Don't do it. Listen, I had to cut it off, man. When this started not looking like this, I said it was time for me to let it go.
Hey, man, I'm gonna tell you, my barber, he gives me a hard time. He's like, dude. You're like, I just had a birthday. I just turned 39.
Oh, man, happy birthday, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. He said, dude, you're almost 40 years old. Your hair grow like you in high school. What are you doing? I said, man, I drink a lot of water. That's it. Drink a lot of water. But, yeah. Man,
hey, I wish I lost my hair at 26, bro. I wish I could just get when you cut your hair, can you please tell your barber just give me the remnants in the scraps?
We're going to send it to you.
Thank you, bro. Hey, bald-headed brothers matters too, okay?
Hey, man, look, all of my cousins are pretty much bald. So I support you guys. I support you.
So, hey, I love it. And you know what? I'm going to tell you, Mayor, I'm just glad that you're here. I know you are busy. You have a lot of great things going on. Please tell the people a little bit more about you, because I know so much about you. You're a good friend. I mean, hey, you putting people on the game, but tell the people a little bit more about you and things of that nature.
Got you. Well, like OD said, I mean, I'm Terrence Culbreath. I'm actually from the town that I'm mayor of. I moved away fresh out of high school. I worked in NASCAR for a little bit. I know that's a little weird thing when I tell people that. They look at me like, what? Yeah.
Man, I don't never see no brothers in no NASCAR, bro. Come on, man. I got to check that credential, bro.
Man, Google me. I went to NASCAR Tech up in Mooresville. And from there, I ended up going to school again. I went to Full Sail, became an audio engineer, moved to Atlanta, worked for the Mighty Outcasts, helped run recording and run their whole studio operation down in Atlanta. Made a couple hits myself, made a couple moves, but Atlanta, chocolate city of the South, inspired me in so many ways, and it tested my leadership abilities, right? Yeah. I know we're going to touch on leadership, but it tested my leadership abilities, and I said, before I execute and do it, I'm going to go home and do it. So I packed it up, moved back to my small town in the country, and honestly, got elected. I just wanted to help. I wanted to be like a consultant for the town. And people started saying, like, you should run. I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. No. I'm not old enough to do that. But anyway, that's what brought me to it. And so now we're here today, 2 terms in as a mayor, approaching, the last chapter of my mayoral career. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's the last chapter in this area, man. Hey, you know what? And I love the fact. Now, we got to ask you, when you was down in Atlanta, you was producing some music and things of that nature, working around the industry. Man, can you rap or sing? Should we know that you have a hidden talent of rapping and singing? Just let us know.
Let me tell you. I work with a lot of rappers, work with a lot of singers, but that is not my ministry. That is not my ministry. I love a good jam. I love all types of music. So don't just box me into rap. I love it all.
Right.
But no, that's not me.
Have you heard of like Afro beats? Have you heard of any Afro beats? Okay, yeah. All right. Okay, good.
Man, I'm in my home office. I'm not at that town hall. I'm in my home office. We jamming here.
Okay. Hey, we might as well go ahead get the DJ. Where the DJ at? DJ, come on. We about to turn it up. Come on, DJ. Where you?
Hey man, look, it's Friday.
It's right. It's Friday. We ready to get it cracking. Let's go. Let's go.
Oh yeah, that's good
So,
stuff. What you got, bro? What you
all
got?
right. So yeah, man. So you one of the things that you put in your LinkedIn bio that I really appreciate, that you talked about, being a bridge, not just being cornered into one, one area, working with everybody. And as a leader, we know that you got to kind of work with everybody, because everybody's just is not going to agree with you, no matter how much you try to convince them of the definitive. How do you as a leader adjust when those that disagree? And then how do you bring those people to the table that's literally disagreeing with your direction?
Here's the thing. I look at it like this. In order for a person to disagree, they're the ones talking, right? So I go into the situation as the person listening, because I want to hear your disagreement. I'm not going in to attack you on why you said this or how you feel about me. No. Let me hear you. Hear me out. No, let me hear you. And I show it with respect and open ears. But what it helps me do is not just hear their problem, because they're just the person that's, man or woman enough to speak to you on it. It also lets me know that there are more of them. There are more people that feel that same way. And for whatever side I'm on, there are more people that feel my way. So hey, let me arm you with some information. And that's it. Once you start arming people with information, you don't go in disrespectful, and then they get to see you. And then, it helps that I'm 6'6", 300 plus. So when I walk in the room,
all right.
It's a little different. People are like, oh shit, I didn't know he was that big. But but yeah. And so that's it. You arm people with information, you hear their side, you share your side. And generally, people walk away with an understanding where they want to do more. Now the fight is over. Well, how can we help each other? There we go. Let's get that done. So.
Have you found, since you've been working in leadership for quite a long time, have you found those people that have just totally disagreed with you, may have came out, spoke out about it, out about it in a board meeting? How do leaders make those adjustments, especially when you feel that person really have crossed the line in terms of where you feel like you were disrespected, disagreeing with the issue, but feeling disrespected? How have you been able to,
so
how do we do that? How do we mend those bridges?
It's tough. It is a muscle that you have to learn to exercise quickly. Oh man, I can tell you so many stories. I had a I don't even want to say.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. Get the people something. Give us an example.
I've had some people come out against me publicly to people they thought were their allies, but honestly, they were my allies. And they couldn't see that because maybe they thought like, oh, well, that person is let's just say this, it's an older white gentleman, and you're talking to another older white gentleman, and you don't realize that, oh no, he likes Terrence. So you came out smoking with a guy that like, hey, no, I don't feel that same energy and animosity towards Terrence. But I've also had those people, they just went for me, man. They went for me. They wanted all the smoke. And what I had to do was I sit back, I listen, let them make their point, or get the little chatter going. I hear their point. But it's almost like, be careful when you go to war with a grizzly bear, because I'm going to beat you. I'm not going to beat you physically. I don't have to show out in public and get loud. But the thing is, I'm going to beat you right here. So that's that muscle you learn to exercise mostly. Because in this leadership position, it's so many people. Everybody's shooting at the king.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's shooting at the person unless you have authority or some power. And so I can't give it to them. I will not give it to them. And then too, I mean, this might sound like, I've been going to some good therapy over my lifetime. So I know who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I know who I am, and I understand what that costs to be me. And so there's some people out there, they want to be a leader today because I'm a leader. And they think they could erase the 20 years of my past that got me here. You can't erase that, and I'm not going to give you enough arrows to take it. So that's
I like that, because oftentimes leaders are under attack. And people really think that being a leader is an easy thing. I mean, just merely thinking about, what we're dealing with in terms of, when we talked about, their leadership when it comes to solving problems and solving conflicts, because the bottom line is that leaders often have to make decisions on behalf of thousands of people, and we're trying to find that balancing, but being able to find that balance is often the is the job, giving and taking.
That's the tricky part, because here's something. A good friend of mine. I don't want to start name dropping, so I ain't gonna do that. I'm just saying, a good friend of mine that happens to be a senator, here in the United States. But
okay,
he taught me something early. He's like, everybody says the word leader, but they got to remember, if you're in an elected position, you're a servant leader. So we serve people first. And so those people that want to attack, me as a mayor, you as a councilman, our friends and colleagues that are in the legislature, these people are serving first. So they're doing more work than the people that are attacking them. You know what I mean? You think about it. Some of the laziest people you ever have a conversation with is the person that's talking crap about you.
That's right.
That's
right.
So you're like, what you did?
That's right.
Nothing about me on Facebook.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
right.
What you do?
You ain't doing nothing. And you know what?
I got the kid out this shit.
Look at me. Look at me.
Exactly.
And I think that I try to, myself personally, I have, a really easygoing personality. I am more high energy, I'm a kind person, and I try to remain consistent. As a leader, how do you check your emotions? How do you, when you're looking at someone dead in your face and they are just going in, or, maybe it's the opposite. Maybe they're giving you high praise and, and you're trying to receive that. How do leaders, check their emotions at the door?
Yeah. And it's one of those things, man.
And ego.
Yeah. I was going to say that. I was like, all right. Sometimes it feels good to be hated. Right. Yeah. We be like, yeah, they hate me. Look at them.
Right.
But no, like the biggest thing for me, honestly, I'm a very spiritually grounded guy. Right. So that's gonna be the first thing. And I know it sounds all new age, but my level of emotional intelligence at 39 versus my level at 30 is way different. So that's number one. Like, just being honest with yourself. Like, I have my moments where I just need to walk away and go get in the car and be like, yeah, I'm just on my way home. I'm listening to this 2 Chainz and a little 21 Savage, and I'm gonna feel better. Because when I get in the driveway, by then I'll be calmed down. I'll be listening to Darius Rucker or Chris Stapleton. You know what I mean? So it's like being honest with yourself, but also taking that as an opportunity to learn, right? Because I've had people run up on me and kind of, if I was a different person and it was a different time, yeah, I might have been in there. I might have had one of them pictures where you see me this way, then you see me that way. You know what I mean? But no, take that as an opportunity to learn and just, grow from it and be able to challenge yourself. That's what I had to do. That was a big learning curve for me. I started challenging myself against those people that wanted to be my enemy, because I love everybody. So if you want to be my enemy, that's on you. But that's what I did. I took that time. 2 things happened. Either I'm gonna step away and go and take my woosah moment, or I'm gonna just stand here and go head on. We're gonna be like, all right, let's get to the bottom of it, because God just tested me. So it's gonna be another test later. And hopefully I pass this one so I can pass the next one.
Well, and I think that we all, I like what you said, that emotional IQ. I think as you as leaders kind of stay engulfed in what they're leading and who they're leading and knowing whose they are, their emotional IQ for dealing with, people becomes more calm. People have shared with me, OD, you're way more calm since you've been, in an elected official than you was, prior to. I said, I love what I do, but I'm learning to listen more. I'm doing a better job of listening. I'm doing a better job, and I already felt like I was a good listener already, but being in politics really forces you to listen way more, and you need to be calm, because the thing is, I'm in a serious role, and people concerns, whether it's the roles need to be fixed or something like that. This is very serious to people, and we have to take it. We have to treat it as such. And this is why most politicians become very serious people because of the fact that these issues are really real, and they have great implications on people's lives.
And it does, and a lot of times, because you know this, you see it. Like I know you ran at large, so you had to see every side of Chandler, right? And so something over here may be a pothole, and you can't look at that like, oh, well, they just worry about a pothole. These people got a building that's about to fall down. No.
Right.
Everybody's concern is valid,
Right.
you know, because everything's relative. Like that pothole may be ticking them people off. And that building falling down, honestly, it might not be but 5 people that even notice that you have the authority to help them with that, right?
Exactly.
So you learn, I always feel like, what's it called? Like, I guess like when you're doing yoga, like in the park. Like I feel like once you're elected and you really take it on, you learn how to sit back and roll your hands slow, stretch. Like you just become more centered and grounded. Because you can't jump at everything, because you can't afford to. You don't have the capacity to jump at everything, and that's what I had to learn. Like I didn't have the capacity to jump at everything and react in a certain way, but I had to learn within myself to quiet that, center it, and give strong and effective answers versus just half-cocked answers, throwing it out there, and now you're making the problem even worse.
Yeah. And I think that, and that's the time that leaders have to take to think through. So how do you think through your process? I mean, literally, like, you have a team of advisors that comes in and say, hey, man, do it this way. This is the best way. That's the best way. How do you manage through all that coming at you, and you are stuck with making the final decision that's going to impact you, either going to fail or it's going to be extremely successful?
Number one, I'll tell you, I don't have the typical fear of failure. Because I look back over my life and I take account. Like I look at my life resume a lot, and I was like, all right, I haven't failed many times, but I have fallen. But look at my bounce back on my return. And so I take it to my people. Like, my trusted advisors, I take it to them. I mean, my number one trusted advisor, you know me. I'm not ashamed. I sit here and pray. I'm like, okay, God, I need you. You know what I mean? But I take it to my people, and I'm a writer. I like to write stuff out, right? Like I'll write it out. But a lot of times, when I have to, I'm sitting here in my home office, like I have a section of wall that's like 8 feet by like 4 feet, and it looked like one big dry erase board, but it's actually one big Post-it note. Like you can buy them off Amazon if anybody needs them. But anyway, and I just write. I write it out so I can see it. It looked like Beautiful Mind in here sometime. I have Post-it notes everywhere. But I have to see my process and then get to a point where I feel good with the decision. Because I'll tell you, something that we're working on right now that's like wrapping up, and they should be doing site work next week. It was a building in my town. Building was falling apart. This building been falling apart since I was probably in high school. Right?
Oh God, it's been falling apart that long. That's a long time falling apart.
And so, but when I got involved, I learned more of the process. Like, it was family-owned property. They were trying to fix it. The city, the county, the state was even working with them. So I realized, like, okay, it's not like they're just being disrespectful or harmful. They're trying to get back. They just didn't have the means.
Right.
And eventually it come to a point where it was just one person in the family trying to fight for it, and the other family members weren't. And so we got here, and where, boom, I got them a buyer, got somebody to come in, end up getting the building sold. They sold the property. Let me tell you, once that property was sold, it took about a month to get all the site work, EPA, all that stuff done. Building's done now. I'll send you a picture when we get off this. Like, I'll see your old picture and a new picture. It's
like, send that right away. Send that right away.
I'm telling you, it was a big raggedy building. Now it's just dirt, right? So that right there. But it goes to show, like, number one is networking. That's a leadership acumen that I didn't know I had until I got into that situation. But just getting stuff done, and what that property is going to become. That property is going to become a retail space here in my town. And we're going to employ, it's right here in town. You might employ 15 people in the direct business, But with truck drivers and people bringing in, you may spill over to another 5, 6 more people. But that's one thing on one corner of the town that's tied to other corners where I've helped, and myself and other city officials have helped bring businesses and bring jobs. So that's it.
Well, I think I mean, really, to be honest with you, man, that's what it's all about. It is all about making, great movement and making those economic development decisions. And you talked about that a lot, because leaders often decisions are predicated on making economic movement and making economic progress. But that comes from a lot of relationship building.
Whew. Let me tell you.
How do we build relationships?
Honestly, man, we talked about this because we were going in on just, I tell people I'm just one guy, but I thank God that I'm not a shy guy, right? And so you just meet people. You meet people, but by meeting, you got to meet the right people. You got to figure out what makes that work. Let's just say you see this in your city. So you got to figure out, okay, we're going to try to build, let's say, an industrial park or build a small industrial park. Like one plant is going to come, maybe a manufacturer of whatever knick-knack they're manufacturing, right? But they're going to hire 100 people, 150 people.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know, like, okay, how do we make this deal work so that this deal don't fall apart? Like, they got their part. They're gonna build knickknacks, right? That's what they're doing. But you got to know, well, who's the power guy?
Right.
Well, not the power guy, but the company or the CEO of the company. You find your CEO. Well, who's your regional guy that runs it? And not trying to be sexist. It could be man or woman. Not saying that. Find out who runs that and have that conversation. Like, hey, this plan is looking to build here. They want to do some site work. But do you guys supply enough power for them to even build what they want to build?
Right.
And people on the outside of the community never think about that conversation. Right? So you be like, okay, well, they working on it. They let you know that I got it on my board now because I'm working on a project. They needed 50 megawatts, right? So you find out, like, boom, they can provide 50 megawatts. Great, we got it. I'm going to call OD. All right, OD, I got you the power. OD be like, do they have enough water? Call my guy John. John's over the water district. Let's see if they got enough water. Can they get the water there? Or if they need the whatever. Here's where the hiccup come in, OD. They be like, yeah, we got enough water, but Jeremy over here owns a 3-acre plot of land, and he won't let us cut across that 3 acres to deliver that water.
Right. Oh,
so
my God.
OD, I need you to ride with me. We got to go talk to Jeremy.
Okay.
And people think it's crazy, but that's that work.
Is that intentional?
Jeremy on board. Jeremy be like, well, I'll do it. Okay, well, we're gonna get the water authority to cut Jeremy a little break on his water tax or his water fee. Bam. So now we got the water, we got the power. All right, OD, I did my part. You got a guy that's gonna build this road that cut through here for these people to get these trucks through here. And there you go. And it sounds that simple. For people at home that are listening,
right? It
sounds that simple, but just like I know. Picture trying to get your coworker to do something that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
You know what? Coffee, lunch,
sushi, donuts. Get them Dunkin' Donuts, Krispy Kreme.
There you go. You got to go to their child play.
So, well, and I think you're right because it is relationships because number one, you don't get into the power of leadership without relationships. You got to have a following. Someone have to say yes. This person is worth following. Someone has to look back and say this person is worth, staying connected to, and I think I found that, being a leader too and building relationships is that I have to be definitive about what type of relationships I want to build because I think TDJ said it best. He said some of us we need to know if they're a constituent, if they are a comrade, and if they are a confidant. Our confidants is like our spouses, our closest family member, like mom, sister, brother. They're different than your constituent because your constituent can feel like a confidant because they will go to the bar with you. They will go hang out with you. They will do certain things with you. But when times get rough, they are gone, Yes. And then you got your comrades who's just willing to go to battle with you. They are a one issue a partner, And so in understanding that as a leader, that's how you build your relationships. Have you learned these separations of the 3 C's?
Let me tell you, I learned the hard way because I'm like,
Okay.
everybody cool. I won my first selection. I won in a landslide. I'm like, oh man, I'm good. Everybody like Terrence. What you mean?
Right.
And then you start realizing people like, I don't like Terrence. Terrence ain't come to my church. My pastor had an anniversary and he didn't come. My cousin broke their leg. He ain't send a letter. And so you start to, I guess I learned the hard way. And I was lucky, like people started to divide themselves out and show me like, oh, I can just talk to them about this, or I can talk to them about that, or I can talk to them about that. And so when you learn how to, I hate to say it like this because it sounds bad, but how to like place people in your life,
right?
You learn how you could be best effective with those people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And once you master it, not just learn it, once you master it, right, where your family doesn't feel neglected, and you're not neglecting your constituents. And then 2, something that we lose a lot of in being elected or being in a leadership position, true friends.
Oh my God. Say that. What you say? True what? Friends?
Because oh man, that's tough. Like you say, like having somebody that can go to the bar with you, but not just talk with you. Like somebody asked all my friends, like they be like, Terrence is almost the NDA friend. I be like, look, you can't talk about it. Cut your phone off. It's cool. Leave your phone in the car. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna drink, talk to these people. Leave that phone in the car. I don't need no pictures, I don't need no texts, no snaps, no none of that.
I'm good. I'm straight. So we had one of our watchers who asked, how do you network or build new relationships in this COVID environment? How are you doing that, sir?
Man, let me tell you.
How does leaders do it?
Perfect example is me and OD.
Yeah.
I've never been to Chandler. OD's never been to Johnston. We met, we connected, we text, we call, we do it like that. But to answer your question a little deeper, man, I like social media, but I hate Facebook. The longer you stay elected, you'll learn. But anyway, but I'm one of those people. Thank God I had a strong relationship prior to. So I just kind of shifted gears in this new environment. But that's me. I was fortunate. But to answer your question, if you don't already have that, don't be afraid to network any opportunity you get. Like my LinkedIn, like, you see what people looking at you on LinkedIn. If you look at me on LinkedIn, I'm probably gonna send you a connection request. And I have a message that I'll send out to you. I'll be like, let's just say, I hope they don't mind me saying their name. That was Charlie. Let's just say, like, hey Charlie, thanks for the connection request. I hope that we have an opportunity to work together in the future soon. Or let me know what any projects you're working on that I may be able to help you with. Thanks, Mayor Terrence. Boom. I just opened the door for you. So if you choose to walk in, we great. Because we go back and forth a little bit. I'm probably gonna shoot you my number and call me. I'm shooting my email. Send me a message. But I want to say something though. Here's something that a lot of people don't think about, or they don't apply. Like outside of me being elected, I run campaigns. I help people run for Senate. I've even helped a buddy of mine run for president. But y'all wondered who it is. It's Senator Cory Booker. That's my guy. But that's my guy. But I treat every campaign one way. It's all a courtship. That's what it is. You're falling in and out of love every day. People are falling in love with you and out of love with you every day. And you're doing the same. And if you treat your networking that way, you're like, hey, I want to work with this person, right? If that person is me, reach out to me. If that person is OD, reach out to them. Don't let, I'm in my office. I don't have my mask. Usually I got a mask on. But I was like, don't let this mask make me want to connect. Like, because you may be like, hey, I'm gonna hit them on Instagram, Twitter, or IG. I mean, or LinkedIn. Just do it. You got to find the ways. That's it.
Yeah, and I think too that, just to add to it, we cannot allow, we have a lot of opportunity with the virtual. And I know a lot of communities are moving into that virtual space. I mean, even as we are doing this, we have to find other new platforms to connect with other people, but also realizing that if you're out there in the public and you are making that decision, that mass choice, that's your choice. that vaccination choice, that's your choice. But remember, your choices have consequences. So whatever you choose to do, however you choose to network with someone, just know how you do that. There could be a positive or a negative reaction to how it's done. So you need to make sure, like you said, be strategic. Don't be, be strategic. Like, I'm not about to hit, like, people hit me up all the time as they hit you up all the time. Like, hey, OD, me. No, like, say, hey,
Exactly.
I want to volunteer. How can I help you? How can I help you further what you're trying to do that's in the community? But people more so are contract, money, open up the door. And I think TD Jake said this, and I've been using this in my in my messaging. People look at me as, they don't look at me as I want to get to know the person. They look at me as an opportunity.
That's it.
And when you can get past that, where that person is no longer an opportunity, and they're just a person, then we can do more things. But most of the time, first thing they hit is opportunity. I need this from you, and it's different from constituents. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about
not everyone.
Constituent, not everyone. Because sometimes, right now in Chandler, we're talking about chickens, and so it's a big thing. So
hold on. We got. What do you mean by these chickens? They want to have chickens.
Some people want chickens. Some people don't want a chicken. Right now, it's a misdemeanor to have a chicken outside. If you're not inside the certain guidelines within our charter currently right now, if you're outside of those guidelines, those areas, you can get a straight misdemeanor. And I said, oh my God, we're giving out misdemeanors for people having chickens.
Misdemeanors? Come on, that seems a bit harsh.
Man. Hey, they all came before me. I just want to let everyone know they was all before me. But yeah, we're talking about that, and we have traditional neighborhoods and non-traditional neighborhoods, and
and so homesteading now. It's crazy.
Absolutely. They, the homeowners association ain't letting you have chickens in your area, but not the regular traditional neighborhoods. If we do something with it, it can allow chickens to be in those areas. Mm-hmm. And some of those people want chickens in their area,
I get it. A friend of mine, he's a mayor of a neighboring town, and they have a lot of homesteaders in their community. And I'm gonna tell you, look, I'm gonna put you on game a little bit ahead of the curve. If they want chickens now, they're gonna want ducks next. And ducks stink.
Okay.
Listen, you can deal with chickens. Those ducks have a foul smell. If you get 5-6 ducks in the yard, you're gonna trust and believe.
Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, I already have ducks jumping in my pool right down the street, right down the little area. They be hanging out. They come all the way over into my pool, my chlorine clean pool. They jump in it, take a bath, get something to drink. They be doing all that.
I'm telling you. Listen, well, look, hey, I wish y'all well with jumping on that situation with the chickens. I had that issue in my town. We have an ordinance for it. If you have them within, the little chicken coop type situation. But we had people that was letting their chickens get out, and some people would call like, hey, man, there's a chicken in my yard. I don't want the chickens. I don't have chickens.
So one of my constituents said, I live in Chandler and I'm willing to volunteer. Not with chickens. You got to laugh.
Hey,
it just got real. It just got real, man. It just got real.
You don't want to do it. But no. So hey, I get it. And that's a funny thing too. I know you didn't ask, but I'm talking about a little bit. Like when situations like that come up in public meetings, public forum, dealing with changing ordinances is tough. Because that ordinance may have been written in the 80s when it was a whole different community, whole different neighborhood.
That's when it was written.
Whole different way of life.
Yep.
And now, Chandler is like, hey, I'm trying to build my $500,000 home.
Right.
I don't want to hear your chickens. I don't want to see your chickens. You know what I mean? So,
Right. Well, and it's interesting because Chandler was agriculture, then it moved into now it's a leading technology hub in the state of Arizona, and so now we have to ask ourselves, what do we want? We went from agriculture, which farming was very critical to how this city continued to move, and now that it's then it went into data centers, and now it's moving away from data centers into innovation, leading innovation, and so we have to make those decisions. But I think, as a leader, though, we got to make decisions, and sometimes, you making decisions, and you're hoping that everyone will weigh in on the decision, and you're still gonna make someone upset. I just try to find a way to sleep at night. What's gonna help me rest easy at night.
And, something I learned, and I'm, I've always put this out there, and I'll tell you. Like, if it's an issue like that, be like, hey, I'm going to come to your community. Let's have a meeting in your community. I want to know who the chicken man is.
Right.
Right. Let's go talk to them directly. Because that way you get a chance to hear both sides.
Yes.
And so if it come up at a public meeting, you can like, well, hey, I was over in such and such community. I seen it. I get it. But I understand where we are as a community.
Right, exactly.
So, and I always say, every city person really don't want to live in the city. They really want to live in the county, but they want the amenities of the city. So they try to balance it out.
Right. Yeah, you ain't. I mean, that is showing up the truth. So I'm gonna give you one last thing, Mayor, before before we end this podcast. Hey, what would you give to new leaders, the ones that's coming behind you, that's considering, they look to you as a role model. They want to get to the next level. What would you say to those that look at you and say, that's my hero, or I want to be in a leadership role? Give us some steps, and then what would you say? Yeah,
man, that's a good one. One of my mentees called me like 2 days ago. I've been mentoring this kid since he was like senior in high school, and we talked about that because he's considering. He's moved to a different community. He's considering getting involved more. First thing I would tell people, same thing I told him, find your why. Like, what is your why? And I know it sounds so generic, but your why can be generic. Your why can be like, hey man, I like the way he dressed. I just want to wear more shirts with ties. And it'll be something that simple, but that's the caveat. That's the piece that gets you on that path. I would say find your why and educate yourself. Y'all have heard me say this earlier. Arm yourself with information.
Yes.
Educate yourself on how this thing really works, because the way you see Terrence out here mayoring, right, may be totally different than how you want to do it or how you think it should be done.
Right.
But find the rules. You got to learn the rules and learn how this thing really supposed to work. And then 2, mentorship. Like, so many people, their ego gets in the way of finding them a good mentor. Like, find somebody. Like, I mentor a lot of folks. I mentor kids, and sometimes I tell them, it's like, I really may not have the direct advice you need, but I'm gonna tell you the examples of stories and situations where you may find that learning that you're looking for within that story or that situation. And so that's how I tell people, hey, in order to be a leader, just remember, you're a servant before you are a leader. Yes. So learn to serve first, educate yourself on leading and leading properly, and don't be a biased leader. Don't just, if you're a Democrat, great, but don't just research and study Democrats. Or don't just study Republicans. Like, learn how to be that bridge early so you can do it and do it effectively.
Yeah, I like that.
That helps.
Yeah, I like that. That's some really, really good advice, Mayor. And I can honestly tell you that, there's so many people that's trying to get to where you are. There's so many people think it's easy. Oh, I can do that in that area. It's not as easy as one would think. But
that great hair be kicking in, bro.
Hey, look, that it's all good. I thank God that it went away. But guess what? It's kicking in right on down here. Like, gotcha. Right under my chin. Yeah, it's coming in, and I would tell you, the more issues I deal with every day, the more I realize how important it is for so many people. And and as long as I stay in this, I want to continue just be the advocate, the fighter. But I think also, just to add to your point, every leader after they find mentorship needs to be a leader of action.
Yep.
Don't just sit around waiting for people to open up a door for you, but actively work on the doors that you want to see yourself,
That
going
network,
through.
that networking piece.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if I could, not to keep talking.
Go ahead.
Something I want to add, because like most people that are watching this, I hope what they can take away is that you and I both have pretty much stressful lives, stressful jobs. We're the constant need. People constantly need us. Do not lose your ability to have fun, because that will drive you nuts. My first term as mayor, probably the first 2 years, I probably was a wreck. I was just stressed because I felt tense, because I didn't know how to let loose. I felt like, the mayor doesn't do that. I was like, I ain't buying no more Jordans. The mayor doesn't wear Jordans. Catch me now. Catch me. It's cold outside. I'm gonna put this hoodie on. I'm gonna, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I'm gonna work on my old truck.
Yep.
Find that ability and keep you a good hobby and all that good stuff. So yeah, I just want to make sure people understand that. Like, it's not. Don't make it rigid, because if you do, you'll never get out of it. And you see those people. You know them. OD know him. He ain't gonna say their name right now, but he know him. He's like, oh, look at that boy just needs 2 beers and
I oftentimes like, man, you need something, man. You need something. You need you need something to calm the nerves, because man, I don't know what and I think is interesting, because I have to invoke my culture. I'm different. Yes, I'm elected, but also I'm cultured too, and
where that behind me? Cultured and country. Come on, man.
I want people.
My podcast. I need to start back doing it.
Man, you need to, man. I like that. Culture and country. Yeah. We got a lot of culture in Chandler. I'm
coming out there, man.
Man, I want you to come down here. I want you to come and hang out with me. we're gonna make that happen.
Yeah, I'm come out there. I got to. I got to meet you, man. In talking to you all this time, man. You're an awesome dude. I thank you for this opportunity. Let me talk to your group. And
absolutely.
I need to crank up my podcast. Crank it back up.
Crank that soldier boy.
See, learn how to have fun. You gotta have fun.
Right.
Man, I don't want to overstay my welcome. I tell you.
Oh man, no, I really do. I really do appreciate you, sir, and I really do. Thank you for your time. And you know what? We do it together, man. We're doing this thing called life, and it's not easy. So you guys, we want you guys to check out. Make sure you guys go to all the platforms. Go to the Spotify account. Go to my Google podcast. Go to where Apple Podcasts, wherever you may be, YouTube. This will be on every platform. It's live on every platform. But if you want to go watch the reruns, they are on every single platform on iHeartRadio. We want you guys to continue to listen to your boy. Hey, and I'm signing off with Mayor Terrence and OD Harris, your boy. Hey, you guys have a great day. God bless.